But it's recording, so for the folks that can't be with us, yay, we got Lauren. I'm gonna mute everybody so that there's not like a weird echo. But if you ever have anything, to say, don't hesitate to speak up or say something in the chat. Okay, so we are recording. I'm just gonna kind of get right into it. So there's obviously going to be a lot of new people on this call or listening in on this. First of all, hey Peyton, hey Allie, hey Ansley, hey Jill. And then hello to everybody listening to the recording. So I'm going to first start this off, and I kind of want to bring this into every call moving forward. So we're just going to start off with a couple slow, deep, clearing breaths, and having your cameras off right now is totally fine so that you can kind of tune inwards. But after this, I would love to see some faces so that we can kind of have like a classroom experience, and just, get familiar with who else is in this program, which I will explain the benefits of that soon. So wherever you're at, hopefully if you're safe, maybe not driving, then do this another time. But if you can, close your eyes. And if you can, just get still for a second. Allow your physical body to relax. Maybe let your shoulders fall heavy away from your ears. And relax the muscle in between your eyebrows. And just start to be aware of your breath and where it is in your body right now. And can you feel your inhales expanding deeper into your lower belly, really filling up every cell in your body with oxygen? And find that retention of your air at the top. Out the mouth, let it go with a nice sigh and exhale. We'll do 2 more rounds like that. In through the nose, giving your body the gift of oxygen, energy, rejuvenation. And exhale out the mouth. Feel something in your body soften. Release any tension in your hands and in your jaw. Relax your belly. And one more, the deepest, most clearing inhale that you've had all day. Fill up at the top, maybe inhale just a little bit more. And exhale out the mouth, let it go. Beautiful. You can open your eyes wherever you're at. I would love to have some faces, some cameras on if possible. Yay. Hey, Jill. Cool. Awesome. All right. Love that. And just kind of a recap for just the 12-week clients, just because I know this is your first call. So I'm just going to really tailor these next couple sentences towards you. But this is actually really applicable to all of my clients as well. I want you guys to be really proud of yourselves. You're showing up for this call. You're enrolling in a program, whether it's a 6-month, a 12-month, a 12-week, whatever it is, whatever amount of time you're dedicating to focus on yourself. Obviously our whole lives are for ourselves, but we spend a lot of our lives giving our time to a boss or your clients, or showing up as a girlfriend, being the best sister you can, and putting ourselves and our health and our happiness on the back burner. So I'm really proud of you for saying, for this amount of time, I'm truly committed to showing up for myself. And I want you to use this time to fall in love with the privilege of movement, and just to constantly remind yourself how privileged we are to have 4 limbs, if you're lucky enough to have that are mobile, to have muscles that work, to have energy that allows you to breathe fully every day. And to remember that as far as the movement aspect, if you can come from a place of that, you're in a good spot for the rest of your life with fitness. And then just the enjoyment of health, how much having a healthy body, a healthy brain, a functioning digestive system, a functioning heart beating, lungs breathing, all of that. The privilege, again, of health, and remembering that that really is the core of why we're all here. Also, another aspect that's so important of this whole thing is community. And I made a post about this the other day. A lot of times being on a self-betterment journey, a fitness journey, a health journey can be lonely. It's about you usually. Maybe you start to realize that some of your patterns or the people you've been hanging out with or the places you've been going are not really in alignment. And we are now looking at people who are just like you, and who have also decided that right now is the time of your life to commit to yourself and to show up for yourself fully. And we're all here to just enjoy this life to our fullest, to be comfortable in our bodies and to support each other. So utilize this community. On the same note as community, we have the Discord app. Definitely make sure to give yourself that time to get familiar. A lot of times we can use oh, I'm confused, I don't know how to use this app, I don't know how to use the frequency app as essentially an excuse to just stay in this state of confusion. Give yourself 10, 15 minutes uninterrupted to just look at the app, to get familiar with the different channels if you're still not sure. What you really need to know is the call calendar link, which if you are on this call, you probably found it. Above each link that I post, the Zoom call, at the very top, you'll see the calendar. So like the May call calendar, so you can schedule them ahead of time. And then I also have at the very top of the Discord channels, the 12-week specifically for you guys to pay attention to. And I will be posting the recordings of these calls in there as well. Also, for my 12-week girls, we're really focusing on just the workout aspect of things. We dive a lot deeper into nutrition, into form feedback, sending form videos to your coach, having that one-on-one coach accountability, personalized everything, going over your gut health, your digestion, making sure that you're staying on track. That's part of a one-on-one coaching experience. So it is up to you to hold yourself accountable. So use the group chat. If you don't ever post in the group chat, nobody's going to know if you're never showing up for yourself. So I would utilize today or tomorrow or just this week to maybe post a little gym selfie or post a picture of your meals, maybe introduce yourself so that you are now in this community and now you're going to have to show up for yourself for the rest of the 12 weeks. Okay. Get the most out of this experience. Get the most out of this experience. The accountability is where you'll find the most benefit. You'll also see that we do have yoga bi-weekly. You can absolutely show up for those Zoom classes as well. As far as your workouts, I highly recommend utilizing progressive overload, meaning adding more weight or more reps to your movements every single week. If you're utilizing the same weights the whole time, you can basically guarantee that your body will look the same the whole time. Okay, as your weights progress, as you get stronger, that is directly correlated to how much you'll be able to see physical progress. We are going to dive deep into nutrition on this call. Outside of that, you have the nutritional guidance and the recipe ebook linked in your Frequency app. But again, anything deeper, more personalized, that's reserved for one-on-one coaching. Nobody would be able to tell you exactly what you should do unless you had a coach working one-on-one, looking at all of your food and your history of dieting, your metabolism and all that. One last thing, this is going to be really important, and this is going to be applied to anybody and everybody who is listening to this call. Over the next 12 weeks, I will give out 5 $20 Venmos to anybody who posts anything on their Instagram story or their Facebook story or whatever, tagging Frequency. This could be a gym selfie, can be a picture of your meals, it can be a screenshot of these calls, anything at all. It probably end up being like bi-weekly. I'll give it out 5 times, just to somebody randomly who is posting, sharing, ideally with the idea of encouraging somebody else to focus on themselves, find their fitness journey, and to spread the word of something meaningful. So yeah, any questions on what we just talked about before I dive into the call? Cool. Good stuff. Again, if you have any questions, Kathy, it's so good to see your face. If you have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself and just ask away. All right, let me share my screen. So kind of a deep dive, but also kind of just an overview of nutrition here. The basics. Let's get the basics down. So we got calories. I know we've all heard of calories. Think of that as like an umbrella. All food, everything, there's calories. Okay, so that's in everything. That's the overarching thing. Now, what is within those calories? Okay, so the 3 things to break down calories, the entire pie chart essentially would be broken up into protein, carbs, and fats. You'll see a 4 by protein. That means that's 4 calories per 1 gram of protein. There's 4 calories per 1 gram of carbs, and there's 9 calories per 1 gram of fat. Okay. There's also micronutrients within. So it's breaking down. The overarching umbrella is calories. Then we divide that into thirds for macros. And then we divide the macros into little tiny parts for micronutrients. These are things like fiber, vitamins, minerals. Okay. That's all you need to know as far as the numbers portion of food. What is made up of food? This is absolutely everything. We're not missing anything here. Okay. And then there's 2 kinds of foods. There's whole foods, meaning that there is no ingredient label filled with a bunch of different things. It's not in a package. Usually it's directly either from the earth or from an animal. So whole food or processed foods, meaning that it's in a package. It has an ingredients list. It's made up of a bunch of different things. There has to be some kind of human behind it putting it together. Within this coaching program, I highly suggest following the 80-20 rule, meaning that 80% of your foods, when you look at your entire day of food, 80% of that comes from whole foods, whether that's eggs, turkey, chicken, grapes, banana, asparagus, rice is a good whole food, potatoes, sweet potatoes, whole foods, right? You get the gist. And then 20% of that, the 20% is important. I don't want you to try to go 100% whole foods. Good luck with that. You'll just end up in square one having a poor relationship with food. We do want 20% of processed foods, fun foods. If it's somebody's birthday, have a fucking cupcake. Okay. If you are low on protein and you want something sweet, have a protein bar. Okay. I do want to put that out there, that protein shakes, protein bars, that is under the processed foods category. If you're craving, I have like 2 Oreos every day pretty much. And that's part of the 20% because then I get to have that. Then I don't obsess over sweet foods like that. Then they don't control me because I'm restricting it so much. So make sure to incorporate that for 20% of the foods that you're eating. As far as to personalize your own goals and my one-on-one clients, like I said, they get to these every single week. We really dive deep into these things. But this could just also be something good to keep with you for the rest of your life. How many calories should you be eating? 2,000 calories is the perfect average for a healthy adult. Okay. This should be the goal minimum. Okay. I would love for the average healthy adults to be eating closer to 21, 22, 2,300 calories. I, for example, eat about 2,100 calories per day as just my baseline. Okay. So your goal should be to eat about that much. If you are a full grown adult, if you're a toddler, maybe then you should be eating 13 to 1,400 calories if you're picking up what I'm putting down. Okay, if you're eating less than 2,000 calories and you are not losing weight, you have a downregulated metabolism. Okay, your metabolism has been slowed down for whatever reason. This can come from being in a deficit for too long. So eating under that about 2,000 calorie mark for too long, if you've been constantly dieting your whole life, if you've been constantly striving to be in a calorie deficit and it's not working, you should probably try going the other way for a little bit of time. So how do you increase your metabolism, right? If you notice that it must be downregulated after all these things I'm saying, the only way is to eat more food. The other way is to build muscle. However, in order to build muscle, you have to eat more food. Okay, so it all comes down to eating not only enough, but especially if you don't have a good amount of lean muscle mass on you, then you need to eat in a surplus because in order to grow muscle, you have to eat more to grow something that is not there. Okay. So we're not afraid to eat food around here at Frequency Fitness. We use food as fuel. We use food to build muscle. We use food to get our vitamins, our minerals, our fiber in, okay? If you're always hungry, if you're always not fully satisfied after every single meal, even if you eat a shit ton for the day, if you're having binges at night, maybe that's, every single day you're eating super clean, super healthy, and then it's 11 p.m. and suddenly the entire pantry now is empty and you're standing there sitting on your, kitchen floor eating straight out of the bag of chips. You should probably eat more protein and more fiber, specifically protein and fiber, and get them from whole food sources. Because if you turn around a protein bar, you're going to see that there's protein and there's fiber. We don't want to get our protein and fiber from there. There's a whole bunch of different types of fiber. You're going to be much better getting your fiber from things like bananas, beans, apples, asparagus, dates, figs, and then getting your protein sources from whole foods. Okay. How much protein should you be having? About 1 gram of protein per 1 pound of your healthy body weight. So if you are, maybe 50 pounds over what a healthy body weight would be, 150 pounds, would maybe be your healthy body weight range, then eat 150 grams of protein, whatever that looks like, okay? How much fiber? You should be having about 12 to 15 grams per 1,000 calories. So again, if you're at that 2,000 calorie mark, you should probably be having about 24 to 30 grams of fiber per day. Give yourself an eating out or cooking at home game plan. Okay. So if you're somebody that eats out probably once a day, maybe that's Starbucks Monday mornings, Wednesday mornings, that's Dunkin' Donuts, Saturday mornings, it's brunch with your friends, Sunday night, it's Uber Eats. So maybe we're eating out 4 or 5 times per week. Probably would be good to say, okay, let's give yourself the goal of eating out for 2 meals per week. Or if you want to kind of go the other way, let's give yourself the goal of cooking dinner at home every single night this week. So giving yourself some kind of eating out or cooking at home game plan is highly recommended. And pre-logging your food ahead of time. This is if you are choosing to log your food. You do not have to. I'm not going to be checking your food log. It's something that I would recommend everybody to do so that you have knowledge, that therefore you have power and you can actually make changes to the foods that you're eating and know what's going in your body. And the best way to do that is to pre-log your food ahead of time so that you're not constantly eating out of hunger. You're not eating out of impulse. You're not eating because you're already starving. You should already have kind of a game plan of what you're going to have for lunch that day, we're going to have for dinner that day, how many grams of protein you should probably have for dessert or whatever that is. I would suggest 3 to 5 meals per day. When I say a meal, I mean a protein, a carb source, and a fruit or veggie. In the morning, that can look like eggs, a banana with some oatmeal, or that can look like salmon with some rice and some asparagus, steak, sweet potatoes, carrots. Just like Jill's dinner this evening that she posted on her Instagram story. It was literally perfect. Oh, Jill, I logged my food for the first time in forever and thought that I had a good day and realized I didn't consume enough calories at all. That is so real. Every one-on-one client that I get, as soon as we start tracking their food, that's pretty much 99% of them. It's actually that we're under eating. And back to that first point, well, would you look at that? That will give you a down-regulated metabolism, will make losing weight pretty fucking hard and get you at a standstill so that by the time you're in your 40s or 50s, you really slow down your metabolism. So I definitely would make sure to do the only thing that you can do, which is eat more food. And then things to limit. This is the last slide. I would limit fried foods. When I say limit, it doesn't mean that these things are what's going to make you fat. Okay. There's not one food that makes you fat. It's just overeating foods in general. So fried foods, I would limit seed oils. So start getting familiar with reading ingredient labels. If there's any kind of oil that is not avocado oil, olive oil, coconut oil, or just straight butter. Am I missing one? Avocado, olive, coconut. I think that's it. All other oils, essentially sunflower seed oil, rapeseed oil, safflower oil. These are all seed oils. Avoid it like the plague. I would not like the plague. Okay. Just try to limit it. It's probably not going to be doing you any good. I would limit alcohol. Again, you can absolutely have it. Is it going to help you? Probably not, but there's also a lot of benefit to being social and not being, being able to have some liquid courage. And I get that. I would try to limit refined sugars or artificial sugars like sucralose, aspartame, sugar alcohols. I would rather you get your sugars from the real thing, like maple syrup or honey. We love those. Those are whole foods. I also would limit diet culture, meaning labeling yourself, doing all or nothing. I'm all in or I'm all out. I'm intermittent fasting. I'm doing keto. I'm vegan. I'm doing carnivore. I'm restricting this. I'm never eating that. Would not recommend that. I also would not recommend eating super inconsistently, having, your entire weekday of food look so different than your weekend of food, or having, good days and bad days. Find a balance, find that consistency. I also would not recommend having long hours in between each meal, ideally 2 to 4 hours between each meal. I also would never get out of a diet. Okay, so it's kind of like a double negative, but it's because it's under things to limit, right? If you're never getting out of a diet phase, I would highly recommend playing with that idea. Okay, maybe for the next 10 to 12 weeks, I actually focus on eating more to fuel myself, to feel better, to make sure that my hormones are regulated and to improve my metabolism. The majority of your life should be at least spent in maintenance. Majority of your life would mean 6 months out of the year, every year, should be spent not dieting. That way you have successful dieting phases and you don't have to constantly be dieting then. I would also again, I would not, because it's under things to limit. I would not prioritize snacking and grazing and, eating the little chips out of the cabinets here and there, having a little scoop of peanut butter here and there, having a sip of your smoothie and putting it down, whatever. I would prioritize meals, sitting down, having full meals. Again, 3 to 5 per day. You can absolutely have a snack. You can absolutely have a dessert. If that's what works best for you, go ahead. But meals are always going to be your best bet, and simple meals, not crazy Pinterest recipes. Those are going to be hard to track. You're going to overwhelm yourself, especially if you're not a chef. Make it simple. Eat foods that you enjoy. I also would limit constantly chasing stressors and stress rather than safety and sustainability. Do what makes your body, your brain feel safe. Do what makes you feel like this can be sustainable, something that you can do for the rest of your life. A lot of, these things like keto and intermittent fasting and carnivore and any kind of like extreme, 75 hard, yada, yada. All of these like studies and research was done on men. Okay. In here, this is all girls. Women's bodies thrive with safety. Men's bodies thrive with stressors. Please, for the love of God, prioritize chilling the fuck out. Okay. I think that's all I got for you guys. Ooh. Uh-oh. All right, cool. I'm back. Any comments, questions, concerns, anything that resonated, anything that hit?
Yeah, I mean, I already put it in the chat, but it was super interesting about the eating enough because I've always thought like, oh, I need to eat less, like, I need to lose more weight. And then today I thought I had a good day. And in terms of my macros, like it was good, but the calories was not like I needed to eat like another 500, 600 calories just to be at my maintenance. And so it was just very telling. So that really hit for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, okay, so I'm going to question you there because overall calories. So there would be a
Yeah,
macro that you were low in. Which macro would you say out of protein, carbs, and fats that you
protein.
were low in? Protein. Okay.
Yeah, like I was like I'm supposed to be getting like 150 like 150 grams of protein. I was like at 101. So yeah.
Totally. Yeah. Easy fix. Take your overall goal, 150, divided by how many meals you plan on having, whether that's 4 meals per day, then that's going to be, I don't fucking know, 30 grams of protein. I can't do math that quick, something like that. Cool. Good. I'm glad that resonated. And Kathy, I'm glad to hear that a lot of things hit, lots of hits. And yeah,
So
definitely.
Tara, if she was feeling that way, like, and she's like, okay, I have 500 more or 500 more calories to eat in protein. What would you like eat at that point? Just maybe some fish or something? Like, if
So
you've already had dinner, then how do you kind of go from there?
I would recommend that ideally this is you learn once and then we start pre-logging your food. We start tracking so that doesn't happen ahead of time. Like for example, I know Peyton the other day like went to bed and realized that she had like 50 grams of carbs left. And so she had to eat like a loaf of bread and like a whole potato, or whatever at like 10 p.m. or something like that. So shit like that might happen. I would always say, listen to your body. Don't force feed yourself. Like if you're about to go to bed, you're not going to digest the food well if you're about to lay down. It will fuck with your sleep too if your body's digesting food. So ideally, let's try to not eat 90 minutes before bed just for digestion purposes and for sleep quality purposes. So there's that. There's also maybe just try again tomorrow by pre-logging, having way more protein in the morning, in your breakfast and your lunch. And then, if you've had a lot of whole foods for the day, maybe a quick protein shake or a quick smoothie or something that's like quickly to digest, could be then good then, or yes, not snacking on like cottage cheese, or having some deli meat, maybe a little slab of salmon or whatever that would be.
Cool.
Cool. Good question, Carly. I'm going to read Allie's question. Is the protein and calorie goal the same regardless whether you're working out 1 or 4 times a week? Yes. Yep. Yeah. Everything that I went over in this call would be if you were lifting or not lifting. I would recommend lifting so that we can make sure that the food is going towards fueling your workouts, adding that lean muscle mass, so that we can improve your metabolism, speed up your metabolism. It'll also improve your bone density so that when you're older and you fall, you don't break your hip. It'll also improve your sleep. There's a lot of benefits to strength training. It'll improve your hormones. So yeah, but all of that was regard whether you're working out or not. Anybody else? No problem, Allie. Cool. Well, you guys are such cuties. This was so fun. Post your little pictures on Instagram. I'll be giving out over $100 over the next 12 weeks. So you could just be the lucky one. Just post, tag frequency, hold yourself accountable, be active in the group chat. If I post something or if other people post something, just like it at least, let's keep it active. And yeah, I will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Have a good